This is a Trane 90 Plus, was installed in '03, pretty old, but the electronics are new enough that what's happening is I plug it into my portable generator when the power goes out, and it won't fire. It's sensing an issue, and it won't, cycle properly, and it won't come on. I'll give you an idea what it's doing here. It's plugged into the generator right now. So basically what it's doing is the inducer comes on, senses a problem, it won't let it continue cycling, it goes straight to the blower. I was told it's a dirty power issue, possibly. The schematic on the back of the panel says the 9 flashes check igniter. There's also the electrical ratings and whatnot on there if you need to compare to something. Conversing with many people about this, and convinced it's a dirty power issue from the generator. So that's how I'm going to address this thing. This is the equipment I'm using. It's a Coleman 6250. Pretty basic as far as generators go, portable. I don't need to run a whole lot when it's cold. I want to run the furnace, freezer, refrigerator, that kind of stuff. I don't need to run the whole house. What I'm going to do is try to clean up the power coming in the unit with a capacitor. I had the heating guy spec this out for me. I can give you the gist of that down in the description there if you want to check that out. Here's my setup. I got my furnace plugged into that outlet, so all I would have to do is unplug it, plug it into an extension cord, and go. So it runs down. The power runs down through the conduit. It used to be an on-off switch there. I took that out to try to minimize connections on this thing. So on the inside connection box there, I'm going to take it apart there, and there's the power coming into the unit, and that's where I'm going to put that capacitor, right where the power comes in, to try to smooth out that signal enough that it doesn't freak out and not fire. So obviously it's unplugged. To work on this thing, treat these capacitors with respect because they will shock you. There's my plug setup. I just unplug it, plug it into extension cord, and go. So when you get this capacitor from wherever you get them at, I'm just kind of zooming in on the specs on that thing. Like I said, I'll have it down in the description if you need to. This size would probably work for most furnaces, I would imagine, but definitely double check that. When you get these things, just make sure they're not hot. Safety. So insulated screwdriver, no metal showing anywhere. If you want to wear rubber gloves, have at it. And just short those terminals out. Touch the 2 terminals together, and just make sure it's discharged and it's not charged up when you get it. You never know. So definitely do that before you go working on this thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some pigtails out of some wire. I got some 14-2 wire. I'm going to cut 2 of each, 2 black, 2 white. I'm going to put those little wire connectors on the end. I stripped about 3/8 to a half off the end of the wire, and then got those female disconnects there, and we'll set those up on the ends of the wires so we can hook to the capacitor. Basically just going to go in and out of the capacitor. So you don't need to strip a ton of wire. You don't want your stripped wire to be hanging out of that plastic sleeve. So get them on there and use your crimpers and smash those on there good. And I apologize I dropped these things in the oil not too long ago. I never cleaned them off, but I got a clean pair somewhere. Sorry about that. But get your crimpers and crimp those things on there real good. Give them a pull. Make sure they don't come off and they're on there good. And then inside, obviously remember that, everything's unplugged. So I'm going to take the cover off of this and undo those connections right there inside the box. And like I said before, basically I'm just going to run into the in and out of that capacitor. There's the power wires for the unit, hot and neutral coming in, hot and neutral to the unit. I'm going to attach my pigtails. I got them outside the box here just so you can see, and then I'm going to tuck everything in when I'm ready to hook it up. So I got the pigtails on the furnace side and the pigtails on the power coming inside. And what I'm going to do is tuck those back into the box. I'm not going to leave this capacitor in here, but you can leave it in or take it back out when the power comes back on, whatever you want to do. So there you can see I came in, went right back out with it, with that capacitor. And now I'm going to fire it up. It's going to take a while for this thing to cycle. So I'm just going to let it go. I guess you could fast forward through this if you want to. I apologize for it being super boring, but the inducer does run. It fires right up. The burner comes on. I don't think you can hear the burner come on because that inducer's so loud. But the burner comes on here eventually. And then towards the end here, when the blower comes on, I've already listened to this, so that's how I know. But when the blower comes on, it kind of bogs down my generator a little bit. You'll be able to hear that motor just kind of hesitate just a little bit. Just the draw of that blower coming on just kind of made my generator hiccup there. That's why it kind of slowed down. But it fired right up. It's cycling like it's supposed to. I'm getting the hot air, so it is coming on and off. I got probably a 100-foot heavy-duty extension cord from my furnace up to my generator that's in the garage outside. So yeah, I guess it works. So it smoothed out that signal coming in just enough to where the electronics weren't freaking out thinking there was a problem and not firing. So yeah, I guess if you have a similar situation, it might be as simple as putting a capacitor right where the power comes in. Like I said, you can leave it in there, or for the 5-10 minutes it takes to hook up and take apart, my power doesn't go out that much. So but when it does, you need to, have your heat. So I took it all back apart when the power came back on. I'm going to discharge this thing, make sure it's not hot, double check, triple check that it's not still charged, and I'm just going to pack this thing away, and hopefully I'll never have to use it, I guess. Like I said, you could use it, leave it inside the unit and keep a spare if your power goes out all the time. But I'm just going to take mine apart with the pigtails. I'm going to put it in a box and save it for next time. And I'm also going to get a spare, definitely, because being without heat sucks when you live up north. So, yeah, I hope if you get that problem, I hope this helps you out.